Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We're just going back into things with the Milotic team and the new team that we've been featuring for the last couple of episodes. I originally built the team a lot around the Helping Hand Arcanine, but I figured that I really wasn't using it too much, so I wanted to just swap it out for Gyarados just to try it out for a little bit. With this Gyarados, it's kind of like the very old Gyarados that I was using with Life Orb and Dragon Dance, and I think that'll be kind of fun, but I might switch back. Of course, you know, I'll be using this team for around another week or so, so really just trying things out. But our first opponent of the day is going to be using the common, pretty much like one of the most meta standard teams, Porygon, Tapu Fini, Gigalith, Tapu Koko, Cortana, and the Arcanine. So, with that, let's see. With Milotic, typically opponents are dissuaded from leading with the Arcanine, and as a result, I can lead something to counter that. I'm thinking my Tapu Koko and Naoigo I'd like the most, with Gigalith in the back, and probably Cortana as the last one. So having Milotic in Team Preview just adds so many mind games because it forces players to not bring certain Pokemon sometimes. Although a lot of opponents still end up bringing Arcanine. But if you look at my team, Arcanine just seems pretty awful here against Milotic, Gyarados, the Naoigo, and the Gigalith. So hopefully in Team Preview they'll scare it away to protect the Cortana a little bit more. Because Cortana here can put in a lot of work against Tapu Fini, my opponent's own Cortana, the Gigalith, and the Porygon. The Pokemon I'm probably most concerned about is that Tapu Koko, which is why I'm not going to bring either of my water types. And with my dual rock types, with Sandstorm up, I can get the special defense boost as well. So, we're going to get into the first game of today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please show support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, I mean, the core that my opponent's using, or the team, is one of the more common teams running around, but the sets can always be really, really different, so that's always super scary about it. But I'm going to go with Tapu Koko, and now you go here. I do pressure with Trick Room, and I can potentially reverse my opponent's Trick Room too if they try to set one up. And it's going to be Tapu Koko and Cortana coming out from my opponent. Okay. So, let's see. My opponent's Electric Surge goes off first. I'm modest, so maybe timid Tapu Koko on my opponent's end. One thing I'm scared of is Scarf Cortana. That could be really bad. So out of fear of Scarf Cortana, I think I'll Hidden Power Fire that slot and Trick Room. Yeah, because I ideally yeah, so it actually is Scarf Cortana. We do just see Leaf Blade go into Koko. Okay, but I do survive, and we do see Volt Switch into Koko. Okay. That's kind of frustrating. We'll see what comes in right now. If it's not Gigalith, I get a free Trick Room up. But losing Tapu Koko like that really stinks. So let's see what comes in for my opponent right now. It is Gigalith. Okay. Oh boy, we're gonna have Gigalith against Gigalith right now. And I set up Trick Room for my opponent. I mean, I'm min speed as well, so that doesn't matter as much. And I know the Cortana is Scarfed, which is also important. But it's still kind of an awkward position to be in. I suppose I actually could bring in my own Cortana, though. That might be better, yeah. Especially with the Fighting Z move. Yeah, actually that's way better, I think. So I think I will just all-out pummeling into Cortana here. And Sludge Bomb, I wanted to say. Because I know Gigalith can't do much against my Cortana right now. So yeah, I think I will all pummeling and Sludge Bomb. So that combination should knock out anything. And Cortana to switch out, which is probably even better for me, into Porygon. Okay, I'll take that. Although my opponent could just go for a Rock Slide Flinch right now, which could be bad. No, Gigalith protects. Wow, that's so good. Okay, nice. So turn 1 was really bad. This next turn should be a lot better. Hopefully this combination knocks out with Sandstorm, but I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, that definitely should with a critical hit. Okay, cool. I wanted to target down the Gigalith slot, but the thing is, I knew it had a lot of momentum going to this second turn because the Gigalith doesn't do much damage. With the Focus Sash on Naoigo, I know I can survive. So unless my opponent flinches with the Rock Slide, Gigalith normally can't really touch Cortana. So this is really good because Cortana's slower than my opponent's Cortana and that Tapu Koko in the back, and I can just Leaf Blade or Sacred Sword to one-hit knock out either of those. So I never thought I'd see like Kartana sweep under Trick Room, but it potentially could right now. The Gigalith protecting is so big there for me, and I think that's a good protect too. But I knew I could punish my opponent because that Kartana slot definitely either stays in and gets knocked out, or it switches out. And even if the Gigalith attacked that turn, I knew Kartana would still be in a pretty good position. So that was as perfect as can be. Getting rid of a Porygon is always really nice, and it's going to be my opponent's Kartana coming in right now. So with that, I think I will just Sacred Sword the Kartana and protect my Ego. My opponent might be playing for a flinch now with Rock Slide, because if you don't flinch with Rock Slide, then Sacred Sword should just knock out the Kartana. Yep, there's the Rock Slide, so please don't flinch me. I'll be so sad if it flinches. Okay, nice. So I get the Sacred Sword off. That should knock out after the Beast Boost. Yeah, perfect. So I'm thinking, I mean, I could have attacked there with Ego. I also could have obviously like Leaf Bladed the Gigalith, but I felt like that probably wasn't the correct play. Just because if I Leaf Blade Gigalith, then I'll lose my Kartana. And my Kartana is actually like the most important Pokemon right now. I can't believe the Kartana is like actually sweeping under Trick Room. That's definitely not something you see every day. But now because I do have the Focus Sash on Ego, like my opponent I think needs a double flinch pretty much at this point. So I can just Leaf Blade the Gigalith and Sludge Bomb the Tapu Koko. So wow, what a crazy game. Turn 1, you know, worst case scenario in the sense that I lost my Kartana, my Tapu Koko immediately. But that was actually really good for me just because it gave me a free switch into Kartana. And yeah, Trick Room now. He goes setting up Trick Room and somehow allowing me to sweep under Trick Room. The Tapu Koko protects there, that's fine. Especially because that's even better for me because even if my opponent flinches the Kartana, then I'm still in a good position. Or not in a good position, but like, yeah, next turn I'll still be okay. But if I don't get flinched here, Kartana could pick up all 4 knockouts this game. Now Ego flinches, but Kartana doesn't, which is more important. So it's at +3 now. And the reason why I went for the all pummeling and the Sludge Bomb earlier was because that covers literally anything my opponent could switch into, and it gets me a guaranteed knockout that turn, which is really important when Trick Room is up. I've got Gigalith in the back, so I know this game is 100% locked up at this point. If my opponent fails the double protect, then, you know, obviously I just win there. So I'm just going to Leaf Blade, and I would love to see Kartana get all 4 knockouts this game, so I'll see if my opponent hits it to me, but unfortunately not. Opponent just forfeits, but yeah, that was certainly an unexpected kind of game. Like, if you look at that kind of game, Scarf Milotic, not very good there, because especially with a Scarf Kartana, that's like the worst thing to go up against, because you would just get Leaf Bladed. And like I was saying in Team Preview, my team is so anti-Arcanine that there's very little reason to bring it. As a result, Kartana was able, like, Kartana even getting intimidated once is such a big deal. That's the difference between, like, you know, getting the Beast Boost, like, knocking out Kartana in one hit, or just fainting. Alright, we're going to find the Sax Lad with a 1678 rating over from England. Definitely a name I recognize. Pretty cool guy over there. I don't think I've ever played him before, and he's got a really cool team, so this should be an exciting second game. Running Tapu Fini, Tapu Koko, Arcanine, the Scizor, one of my all-time, if not my all-time favorite Pokemon in VGC, next to Rotom Wash, although Rotom's also my least favorite. The Silvally, and the Goodra, so without a doubt, a very eccentric team there. The bottom, like the top 3, it's like, oh, you know, those are all Pokemon we're relatively familiar with, but the Goodra, the Scizor, and the Silvally are all very interesting to me, and I'm quite scared of them just because I don't know exactly what they're going to do. So, once again, like, Arcanine, you know, with this team comp, has to think twice about coming in, but the Tapu Koko is definitely a concern, as is the Scizor. My opponent leads Scizor, Tapu Koko. Am I in trouble? I feel like I should lead Tapu Koko and now Ego again. With Gigalith in the back, because if Trick Room does go up, Gigalith could put in a lot of work. Scizor is honestly a major concern, but I don't like Milotic here once again. Like, I really like bringing Milotic against, like, teams with, like, Garchomp. I don't know, Scarf Milotic's fun, but it feels way too gimmicky, so that's why I haven't been bringing it too much, which I'm sad about, because I'd love to feature it more. But I'll go with those 3, and I suppose for the last one, probably Kartana's the best one, because Goodra otherwise can be slightly an issue. I actually don't think this matchup's too great for me, so let's see how this goes. Should be a fun time. Yeah, not bringing Gyarados or Milotic. Just, I mean, like, having Tapu Fini on the opposing team is always kind of bad, too, for that. So, for the water types, I mean, specifically. Okay, so we're gonna see Tapu Koko and Goodra come out, which is... I would say this is pretty bad, because I'm going to assume that Goodra has Bulldoze. Like, if I had to assume what set it is, like Assault Vest, which means it can take my special attacks really easily. It also means I like can't necessarily Trick Room for free. And I don't really have great switch-ins to Bulldoze either. In fact, that's really bad for me. I could switch my Tapu Koko out into Kartana. Maybe Giglet's actually the best switch in here. Yeah, I'll switch into Giglet. The question is whether Tapu Koko protects, because I could Trick Room here, as weird as that seems. But I don't want to just get Bulldozed and Thunderbolted. Okay, you know what? I'll just Sludge Bomb here, because I don't necessarily need Trick Room, and Giglet's still in a pretty good position, even if I don't get Trick Room up here. Actually, but if you have Bulldoze, you have to protect Tapu Koko. Yeah, so that makes... I didn't think that fully through. I wish I Trick Room now. Okay, we just see Volt Switch instead. So, with the special defense boost, I should take that really well. I could have set up Trick Room here. Maybe I don't want to. We'll see what comes in. Probably Scizor if he brought it. Yeah, it's pretty bad for me. Unless there's no Scizor, which I'd be kind of surprised by because I have dual rocks. And my best way against Scizor is the Tapu Koko that I have in the back. The real question is, what is Goodra gonna do? Maybe it just Sludge Bombs, like maybe it doesn't have Bulldoze. I was just assuming Bulldoze. Sage on Park used... Oh, it's actually Silvally coming in. Okay. So maybe no Scizor then? Wow, Shiny Silvally looks so sick. So I would just get a Sludge Bomb off against it. What type is that? And we just see a Sludge Bomb from Goodra. Okay, no Bulldoze. That's really good, because I don't take any damage there. Silvally is slower than Goodra. Oh no. What type is that? Ground Silvally. What the heck? That's cool. That's real cool. It's also not anything I expected, so that's kind of a concern. Now the issue is, I need to get... I think I might have to sack now Ego here, because I need to get Kartana in for free. So I can't necessarily... And I can't necessarily get it in for free right now. With Ground Silvally, it also could, for all I know, be Z move. So I'd love to have now Ego because it's so good against Tapu Koko, but Giglet matches up decently enough against it, I think. So I'll just Protect here and go for a Power Gem into the Goodra slot. And Goodra switches out. Back out into Tapu Koko? Into Scizor. Okay, so Scizor comes out here as well. And it's Shiny Scizor! Oh, an all-time classic. So that's definitely a great switch in for my opponent. Really cool team so far. Wow, Power Gem does a ton there, though. We see multi-attack. Okay, it does target down the now Ego. So, great play there. I think I'm okay with that, though. I do get the switch in into my Kartana, which was what I was angling for. Yeah. It is frustrating, though, because I could have attacked it with my Giglet, but that's not an attack worth going for, I think. Okay. So now, I have a bunch of choices. I might want to actually switch Giglet out into Tapu Koko. And Leaf Blading Silvally is so obvious. So I could Sacred Sword Scizor instead. But that would mean a free switch into Tapu Koko. So I think I will still just Leaf Blade Silvally because I don't think Scizor should be able to do too much here. Although, I don't know its moveset. It could be like Banned Superpower, which would just knock out Kartana. So, kind of playing with fire right now. Or with steel, I guess. So I will switch out Giglet into Tapu Koko. But yeah, now my opponent's now Ego is far more of a threat. But, okay, Silvally does protect. So we'll see what Scizor goes for. If it's not a choice ban like Superpower, I think I'm okay. And it's just a Bullet Punch, okay? Although that might be banned Bullet Punch. Oh, that's definitely it. That's really bad for me, I think. Like, there wasn't much I could have done there because I protected last turn. I could have Sacred Sworded to knock out Scizor, but then the Tapu Koko from my opponent's end just comes in again. Yeah, Scizor was quite a problem for my team in general. I should survive. So I guess I sack here. Yeah, I guess I'll just Thunderbolt the Scizor and Leaf Blade Silvally. Because I know that's banned Scizor. At least I'm fairly confident that's banned Scizor. Okay, Silvally actually switches out, probably into Goodra. Yeah, good switch as well. I'm okay. Like, right now, I just, like, can't have the Tapu Koko in. That's my main concern. So I'm okay with Scizor knocking me out here. There's nothing I can do about that. But... It's actually Sap Super Goodra, too. Wow. Very interesting. Okay, so I'll bring in Gigglet now. I think I've probably lost this, honestly. The Scizor itself was the main concern, and I also, like, ground Silvally. That was not what I expected. But can you check that before it comes out? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking, like, maybe Gyarados would have been appropriate to bring in this matchup. Or maybe I should have just prioritized setting up Trick Room, actually. Yeah, I think I'd probably just lose here. I'd have to hope my opponent... Like, I'd have to hope this Z all pummeling knocks out Goodra, and then Scizor targets Gigglet with the Bullet Punch. Okay, I should survive, maybe? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but if all pummeling doesn't knock out, then I just lose anyway. The hope is, all pummeling knocks out, Rock Slide knocks out Scizor, and then it's 2v2. But I think I've already taken enough damage where I probably lose this game because my opponent still conserved that Tapu Koko. And Tapu Koko now is kind of a problem for this team, so maybe I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to counter that better. I don't expect this to knock out Goodra. Like, Goodra's really bulky overall. No, but it actually does pick up the knockout. Was that a crit? Or... Nope. I know its defense isn't nearly as good, but all pummeling isn't stab, so still kind of surprising. And Rock Slide does connect at least, so I will get 2 knockouts here, I think. Yeah. But I probably still lose here. Especially because, like, the way it works out is that Electric Terrain will just get reset here, so Thunderbolt probably just knocks out my Cortana, unfortunately. And it was Life Orb, right? No, it wasn't. Maybe I haven't lost this if somehow the Tapu Koko can't knock out my Cortana and it's like Assault Vest Tapu Koko. That would be my only chance. But I think I will just Stone Edge Tapu Koko here and Leaf Blade. And if Tapu Koko does have a way to knock out Cortana, then I just lose. And I don't really have any investment. This Cortana should be a little bit bulkier, I think. I'm using the max attack. It's actually Z move. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not being a Cortana. Unless that went into Gigglet for some reason, which would be an absolute throw. But, yeah. Even game here, just really well managed by my opponent. That Scizor really just kind of wrecked me. And I think, like, the Pokemon choices, like, I just was at a pretty big disadvantage, specifically because of that Tapu Koko. So, unless Cortana survives this magically, yeah. If Cortana survives that, I actually win, but like I mentioned, I don't have any investment in this Cortana, so it's not an attack to expect. The multi-attack comes out from Ground Silvally. Really cool animation, and that will knock out Gigglet. Getting a crit there, that not mattering as much. Really well played by my opponent, and really cool team as well. I probably will need to, like, I need to counter Tapu Koko a little bit better. Tapu Koko itself isn't a major threat, but when it's partnered with things that threaten Now Ego, especially on that team, like Ground Silvally and the Scizor, like, yeah, I had no idea what that Silvally was going to do. Seeing it was ground type, like, if this were a best of 3, I would definitely consider bringing Gyarados solely for Intimidate in the next match. Like, Intimidate would be a big deal there. I was hoping that I could take maybe 2 Bullet Punches from the Scizor, even if it weren't banded, like, maybe I can't, but a relatively short episode here, so I think we'll have time for a 3rd game. But GG to my opponent there. He played really well. And yeah, that team, like, it just had a lot. I don't think I had many great answers overall against it. Milotic actually would have been a Pokemon to consider bringing in that matchup, just because it can outspeed the Silvally and threaten with the knockout immediately. It threatens the Scizor as well. Scizor doesn't do much in return, so like those 2 Pokemon that were problems in that last one gets checked a little bit more. Obviously Tapu Koko is still a major concern, but it at least diverts some attention away. And what was the last Pokemon on that team? Do we even see it? I don't remember. Trying to think right now. yeah, I don't know. It was a really cool team. And it was lots of unexpected stuff too, definitely. Like, it's not every day you see a Silvally and a Scizor in VGC. But we're gonna find a third opponent for today, put in from Italy with a rating of 1664. Running, that's a really cool team, mainly because of the Butterfree, but Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Garchomp, Cortana, and Arcanine. So, what do I want to do here? Maybe Gyarados can make an appearance this time around. With the Butterfree gets Compound Eye, so it can Sleep Powder and put things to sleep. And Scarf, Milotic is actually decent here. Like, maybe I'll actually go Milotic and now Ego. The only issue is if there's a Scarf on my opponent's team, and like the chances of that aren't exactly too slim. I think I do want Giglet in the back, and probably Cortana is my last one. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's see. I will bring Milotic finally to a game today. So, I think it definitely has some more usage in this team, or in this matchup specifically, and the thought is, like, even if it just gets knocked out turn 1, it can bait an attack away and allow me to set up Trick Room. But we'll see. We're gonna see the Tapu Koko, or sorry, Lele and Cortana coming out. Okay. So now it's like the question, is that, what item is that Cortana? Psychic Surge comes up. Yep. So I would love to hit and Power Fire that slot right now. And Trick Room is actually really good for me here, so I think I actually will HP Fire. And Trick Room. We'll see if the Cortana actually, one, whether it's Scarf or not, two, whether I can get this off or not. Yeah, I think that's the bad thing about Scarf Milotic, like, it still loses to everything else that's faster and is Scarfed. Like, even Garchomp being faster and being Scarfed means it gets an extra attack off. So, it's like one of the things I dislike a little bit more about it. Okay, so it's not faster, let's see if it's Focus Sash then. It's not, okay. So Milotic finally put in some work there, and we do just see the Psychic come out. Actually targeting on the Milotic. Hopefully that knocks me out. But nope, Milotic's too good special offensively. But I will get the Trick Room up. So right now it's like, oh, that looks kind of bad. Sludge Bombing there probably would have been just better. We'll see whether there's a Garchomp coming in right now. My opponent knows I'm Scarf, and it is Garchomp coming in, yep. But that's still not the end of the world here. I probably want to sack here. The other thing is, you can't just Earthquake here if you're my opponent. You have the Z move. I could reverse Trick Room. That's also a potential play. I think I'll just protect now Ego here. Yeah, and sack the Tapu Lele. Although we could see a Z move come out from Garchomp, actually. So maybe in fear of that, I just attack. That could be a mistake, though. Oh, now Ego's actually faster than everything. Whoa. So that's Scarf Chomp, then, I assume. And Fast Lele. Yeah, because the Lele isn't Scarfed. We do just see the Tectonic Rage come out. So it's really bulky admin Garchomp, then, because I'm Modest now Ego. So the Tech Rage here presumably will go into now Ego. But now Ego being slower is a really big deal. Yeah, it does target now Ego down. Makes sense. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to protect, because if I protect, it still just brings me down to my Sash. So might as well just... Like, it could have been risky, though, but my opponent would have needed to double up into something, so I wouldn't lose both Pokemon all at once. It's just Milotic right now, not really doing much. Although the chip damage actually there could matter for a KO from Cortana in the late game. So I'm up 4-2 now, but now I'm in a really awkward position where it's like both of my Pokemon are kind of useless. Although seeing Tapu Koko come in is quite good for me, I would say. Okay. Okay. So there's still 3 turns of Trick Room. I could easily Sludge Bomb here, but I think you would just want to protect EQ. So I'm just going to hit him Power Fire. Actually, I'll target Garchomp again just to get more chip damage to hopefully put it in Z-move KO range, and I'll just protect it now we go here. Yeah, this time I'll protect. The other thing is because the Z-move was burned on Garchomp, now if you want to Earthquake, you have to protect Tapu Koko, which is a really big deal. Yep, and so there's the protect coming out, which means Tapu Koko can't protect next turn, so I can just Sludge Bomb that slot. We do just see the Earthquake come out. So I think my opponent might be playing for a double protect at this point. If my opponent gets it, that could be scary, but Z Sacred Sword or all pummeling. I don't know whether it knocks out Garchomp in that range. That's the other concern. Because I definitely bring in the Cortana right now. Alternatively, so I could double up into the Garchomp, but like what if Garchomp actually protects and Tapu Koko just attacks, right? How many turns of Trick am I left? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna all pummeling here and Sludge Bomb. My opponent doesn't get the double protect, I just win the game instantly. Even if he or she does, I think I can still win. Until Tapu Koko does go for it. It does get it. Okay. Yeah, we probably just see EQ come out though, yeah. So I really could have doubled up into Garchomp there to guarantee a knockout, but like, if Garchomp protects and Tapu Koko just attacks, then I actually just lose the game. Whereas here, it's like the odds are still in my favor, and there's, I don't know, I didn't want to make an overly aggressive read, even though that was like the one conceivable play my opponent could make. But like, sometimes when you're in those positions, you think, oh, my opponent's definitely gonna predict the double protect, so why don't I just attack, because then I don't even have to play any odds, and if they actually, like, predict really hard about it and, you know, don't get the prediction right, then I should just win the game. But I'm not sure if all pummeling here will knock out the Garchomp, but the thing is, then Giglith can come in, and hopefully all pummeling plus a Rock Slide from Giglith will be able to finish up the deal. Yeah, that should definitely be in Rock Slide KO range now. So I just will bring Giglith. And if my opponent doesn't get a double protect or a triple, like, my opponent needs to protect Garchomp here and get a triple with Tapu Koko, because if Koko doesn't get the triple, then I... Although this is kind of crazy now, because it's like, if Koko does get the triple, I actually could just lose. But then my opponent would actually need a quadruple to get another attack off. So I will just Rock Slide here and Leaf Blade. Rock Slide should knock out Garchomp in the range that it's in, and that combination of attack should knock out Tapu Koko. But I could miss Rock Slide. So I'm in a decent position right now, but it's not amazing. But I'm glad my Milotic like finally just got to cheese someone with the Hidden Power Fire, or specifically Cortana. And I'm thinking, yeah, Milotic probably would have been a good Pokemon to bring in that last match. But without knowing what type that Silvally was, that was bad. But I think you can check that. I don't remember. We actually don't see any protects come out, okay. Nice. Yeah, so Rock Slide gets the knockout there onto Garchomp. And so that's what I was playing for, right? Like, this scenario where it's like, the odds are in my favor even if everything goes wrong. And Tapu Koko does faint there. But that was a little bit scary. I like, if I miss Rock Slide there, I think I lose, probably. Well, let's see. Since the Tapu Koko didn't protect, like, yeah, because it depends on what Garchomp was going for there. Single target Earthquake might also just knock out my Giglith. So I think maybe I needed to hit the Garchomp there. Surprised that Garchomp didn't protect, but maybe my opponent was just saying, okay, if you miss, then I can just Earthquake and win the game, which would make sense. Although Earthquake wouldn't have knocked out Cortana, and then Leaf Blade would have knocked out Garchomp afterwards. So maybe if my opponent had Fire Fang, maybe. Either way, yeah, really fun episode. 3 full games for you guys, and some really packed games as well. Really cool teams from all of my opponents, and we do end up 2-1, which is okay. But we're just going to try to take this team a little bit further in future episodes. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.